Good morning and welcome to Kramer's Corner with a daily technical update. It is Thursday, the 12th of December, and just as a disclaimer, this is for educational purposes only. There is no advice or recommendation whatsoever in this video. We'll start with Nvidia today, and it's still holding up above 131.60 support here and above the bounce from the cloud. So it could continue higher here in the coming weeks, but it's really not the semiconductors that are the flavor at the moment. Whereas the other big Magnificent Seven have been doing or performing new higher levels, new all-time highs on Alphabet, on Amazon, Apple, and especially on Tesla. More about that in another video. So, but some of these semiconductors have also been doing okay, but they are lacking the other so a little bit. But key support 131.60 on the Nvidia should be observed if it starts sliding lower. The S&P500 index, I think it will perform a new all-time high here fairly soon. The correction seems to be over. If it takes out 6,100, then expect higher levels towards 6,200. So the Christmas rally seems to be in full motion. The Nasdaq 100 already performed a new high, and I think we could see it pushing higher towards 22,000 here in the coming days towards Christmas and year ends. If it takes out the lows here at 21,313, well, then we could see a push down to around 21,000, but it's not really in the card. Dow Jones, on the other hand, is lagging and was sold off a little bit yesterday. Sold off, but keep sliding lower, and we could see it testing 44,000. But I think that it will also turn around these level 44,000, and then I think we'll start picking up again. European markets. We are in a correction phase, but I also think it's going to start slowly picking up the bullish trend here. EUROSTOXX 50, it needs to close above 5,000 to further confirm. But I think, as we can see here, we have the RSI above 60 threshold. There's no divergence, meaning we are in a positive sentiment, and we are likely to push higher. And I think we will break the 5,000, maybe end of this week, early next week, and push towards 5,077 and possibly higher. Pre-market fairly unchanged really. On the DAX index, had a good day yesterday, bullish trends, no diversion, maybe a slight diversion, but nothing to speak of. And I think we'll see higher highs here, possibly today or tomorrow. There's still correction risk down to around 20,000. If it takes out the low here from 2 days ago at 20,277, then we could see a little bit of correction. And pre-market we up down about 0.25%, as we can see here, but it's not really much. Still, there is a risk of correction lower, but I think we will end the year on higher note. CAC 40, well, struggling really. It needs to close above 7,511 to really establish a bullish trend. The RSI is indicating we could see that it needs to close the gap with a close above here, but the RSI is in positive sentiment, indicating we could actually that scenario could play out. On the FX market, we have euro dollar. I think we will cancel this inverted shoulder-head-shoulder pattern here. It needs to close above the neckline, and I would have liked to close above 106.10 to really confirm it, but sliding low here, it's already started to deteriorate. And if we get a break and close below 104.60 here, well, then it's totally demolished and cancelled, and we will see a euro dollar sliding lower towards 103. So that's the two levels you need to keep an eye on for euro dollar. Cable, well, it seems to slowly crawling higher here, trying to crawl higher again, and there's still room up to 128.34, 35, possibly higher up to the 786 retracement. But the 200 moving average is really giving it a hard time, kind of putting a lid on here. We also have the 100 and especially 55 moving average coming down, and that will also give it a pressure. So I don't think we'll get a much higher than 128, 30, 35 level if we get up there. If it starts sliding below 127, expect a push lower to below 126. Euro sterling. Well, Euro sterling is has resumed its downtrend. It did that a couple of days ago, and there's potential lower towards 82, 82 even, possibly lower on Euro sterling. So a little bit of a fight going on there. And I think for now the sterling dollar will stay on the sideline a little bit, whereas the euro sterling is the one pushing lower. But keep an eye on for potential for the bottom reversal pattern. But for now, it looks like it's destined for 82 level. Dollar yen has bounced further and is crawling towards 153.27 resistance, minor resistance, but I think we could spike up to the 61.8 at 153.65. Key will be what will happen with the 60 threshold, what will happen there with the RSI, will it be rejected or close above? If it closes above, well, then we could see further upside potential to 155, possibly higher. If it's being rejected and the dollar yen is sliding back below 151.45, then we could see a downwards pressure towards 150. Key support 149.40, that should be observed. Euro yen is continuing its bounce, could test the lower part of the cloud, currently here at the 38.2, retracement 160 is about 20. There's still some room for the RSI to crawl higher. The 21 here and the 100 moving average will give it some resistance, so it could be a bit of a struggle to move higher, but keep an eye on 161.90 resistance. That could be a key, but it could spike up to 61.8 at 162.67, but then we have the 55 moving average also adding to the resistance area. So it could be a little bit of a struggle. If it slides back below 158.55, well, then a downtrend is likely to resume. The Aussie yen has tested the 98 resistance and the 38.2 retracement, and is still below just around below the cloud. RSI negative sentiment. If it takes out 95.50, then expect a sell-off down to around 93.65. These low levels here. If it can get above a 98.15, well, then there is resistance at 99. That could be a bit of an obstacle because we also have the 100 moving average coming down and the 55 down here, and that will give it a bit of a add to the resistance strength, really. The sterling yen, on the other hand, is pushing higher, and I think we could see a test of the 61.8 retracement, 195.42. But as you can see here, the 200 and the 55 moving averages, they are kind of giving it a bit of adding a little bit of resistance. They're quite a bit of resistance actually, and if RSI is being rejected at 60 threshold, well, then we could see it sliding lower. If it takes out 192.50, then I think we'll see the downside to resume. Aussie dollar, let's just adjust a little bit. Aussie dollar seems to forming a bottom of reversal pattern. We have a spike down here below the 63.60 support and bounce, and I think we could see it bouncing in the coming days. And what I will do, I will add a let's see there, right there. I will see that we are currently at the 38.2 retracement. I think we could bounce up to the 61.8, possibly higher. Let's see here in the coming days. If it slides back below 63.60, then I think we see downtrend resume. But it seems like we have a bottom reversal pattern, at least in the making. On the dollar Canada, a little bit of correction going on after spiking higher and expected correction below 141. There is divergence on the RSI indicating we are a little bit stressed, but if we are looking at the weekly chart, we can see where there is potential higher towards the up here in this area here from 2020. And could push higher later this year going into next year. Sterling Canada, also a little bit stressed, a little bit of correction kicking in here on the short term, but there's no divergence on the RSI, still showing positive sentiment, indicating we are likely to take out the peak up here at 180, 150. But a little bit correction down to 180, maybe a little bit lower, could be seen before next move higher. The sterling, the Euro Swiss is still dancing around and testing this 92.70 support. Has spiked below a couple of times, but it's still holding on and could bounce up to the 93.30. If it takes out that, well, then there's potential up to testing this falling trend line here and the cloud area, maybe up to the 94 level. If it takes out once again and takes out the two spikes down there at 92.55, then Euro Swiss could push towards 92. It's like repeating myself every day, and it's not really doing much, but suddenly something has to give. Dollar Swiss, I know there's a lot of lines here on the charts, but we have this rising wedge-like or rising channel-like pattern. I broke bearish out of. We are now in this corrective phase, but it seems to be bouncing off the 87.50 support and has broken this falling trend line in this little channel, falling channel here. Can it keep up? Can we get RSI above 60 threshold? Then we could see at breaking above the 61.8 retracement, as we can see of this corrective phase here. And if it takes out 88.72, well, then there's potential higher towards 89. There's a slight divergence on the R side, but if it gets back above 60 threshold, I think we'll see a push towards the previous peak and maybe higher. The dollar index testing resistance at 106.74, spike just above it. If we get another break above it, I don't think we should wait for a close above it. If we get another spike, well, then we could push higher. We are in a bullish trend. We are above the cloud. We are in a positive sentiment on the RSI. I think we will push higher here in the coming days towards 108. If we're looking at the weekly chart, we can also see no divergence on the RSI, which is positive. I think we'll see it pushing higher and makes new highs here above the previous peak here at 108.07. Gold is resuming uptrend. It has been confirmed. We have the RSI back above 60 threshold, currently testing this peak here. We are currently above the cloud, and what we can do, we can add some Fibonacci projections to this and see where we could move to. Well, there's now potential up to 2765 and 2800, the previous all-time highs here. Could slide a little bit back here, but we are back in bullish trend. It will further be confirmed if it can close above 2722, but we are in a positive sentiment, and I think we should see gold pushing higher in coming days. The silver. Well, silver is still struggling with the 32.25 resistance right here, but I think it will push higher in the coming days. We have this double bottom-like pattern here that is indicating we could see a push up to around 33. And if we get back above the cloud and RSI gets back above 60 threshold, well, that will support further upside potential for silver. If it slides back below the cloud here, and the first warning could be if it takes out 31.50, then it will resume downtrend. But I favor the bullish picture. The copper currently at this 61.8 retracement of this sell-off there at 430.5. RSI testing the 60 threshold. If we can get back above there, and if we can get copper back above the 55 moving average, which is declining, and the 200 moving average, that would kind of give it a pressure. That's a little bit of resistance to this area here. But if we can get up there, well, then we are looking at 440, possibly all the way up to 450. On the crude oil, WTI bounced, but still caught in this range here. Maybe a falling trend here inside, but let's see what will happen here the next couple of days. Will RSI get back above 60 threshold or not? If not, then well, we could see WTI sliding lower, still support at 66.72, and Brent crude oil, same picture really, 70.70 support level. The Dutch TTF gas is sliding lower towards the key support at 43 and 96. If it does close below, well, then it has closed this gap, and that could spur another sell-off lower to 42.50. But if it doesn't close and bounces back above 45.86, well, then we could see uptrend to resume. Still in this double top-like pattern here, abandoned baby top and reversal. So that is currently playing out. So keep an eye on that level there. Henry Hub gas, on the other hand, has seems to be resuming uptrend. RSI back above 60 threshold, supporting higher levels after bouncing from the $3, and it could push towards the 364 resistance once again, and the uptrend is still intact on the weekly chart. As you can see, I think we'll see nat gas pushing higher, but key support around $3. US 10-year Treasury yields continuing bounce higher. Above the falling trend line here on the RSI, indicating we could see a test of the 60 threshold. So I think we'll see the 10-year pushing towards the 432 resistance. We are above the cloud, we are above all moving averages, apart from the 21 coming down, giving it a little bit of a hard time, but it's not the strongest one. So I think we'll see it bounce higher towards this level, and if it can close above 432, and if we get the RSI back above 60 threshold, well, then there's potential higher towards 442 and 450. If it starts sliding lower, it really needs to take out these lows here at 412 for a push lower towards 4%. The 2-year Treasury yields are also bouncing somewhat, bounced off the 40 threshold here, and could test the 38.2 retracement of 415. If it moves back above 420, then I think we'll see it pushing higher towards these previous peaks here. The RSI, if it gets back above 60 threshold, then that will be key. On the EuroBund future, we are in a corrective phase after testing this strong resistance at 136 and 136.29. We need to look at it on the weekly chart. We can better see it actually spiked a little bit above, but it couldn't hold on. So now we have a corrective phase currently at the 38.2 retracement, 135.71. If it bounces off there and takes out that 136.52 peak there, well, then there's potential up to 138.84. On the UK gilts, also in a corrective phase, currently at the 38.2 retracement. Let's zoom in a little bit so we can see that. I think it will slide lower, but we are in a positive sentiment on the RSI, so it's just a corrective phase, but not before next push towards 97 and the other part of the cloud area. But it's a little bit up in there. We have all moving averages declining, and it really needs to close above the 55 moving average for a potential up to 97 level. Otherwise, I think it will slide lower. On the crypto side, we have Bitcoin currently back above $100,000 and could push higher here. The RSI, however, is not that supportive. As you can see, it did dip below 60 threshold. Now it's back above the rising trend line here. So it will be key what is happening next couple of days. If it starts taking out the lows here from a few days ago, well, then the key support at 90,680 could come under pressure. But if it can hold up here, then there's potential higher towards 105.5 and maybe possibly up to 109. The Ethereum key support here around 34.5 that has bounced off of, could retest the 4,094. If it takes out that, well, then we are in a different situation. Then there's definitely a potential high. We can see it's fairly strong resistance here just below 4,100. All right, that's all for today. Have a nice day and talk to you later.